Welcome to the fascinating world of human geography, where we explore the intricate relationships between people, places, and cultures. Human geography goes beyond maps and borders. It delves into how humans interact with their environments, shape their societies, and express their identities. In this video, we'll journey through the core concepts of human geography and discover how culture influences everything from language and religion to food and architecture. By understanding these connections, we gain a deeper appreciation for the diversity and complexity of our world. Let's embark on this exploration together, starting with the basics of what human geography truly means. Culture is at the heart of human geography. It encompasses the beliefs, customs, arts, and behaviors that define a group of people. Culture shapes how we see the world and interact with others. It's expressed in our language, traditions, clothing, and even the way we celebrate holidays. Understanding culture helps us appreciate the richness of human experience and the variety of ways people adapt to their surroundings. As we move forward, keep in mind that culture is dynamic, constantly evolving as societies change and grow. Language is one of the most important elements of culture. It's not just a tool for communication, but also a way to pass down traditions, beliefs, and knowledge from one generation to the next. Different regions often have their own languages or dialects, which can reflect their unique histories and identities. The spread of languages, as well as the disappearance of some, tells us a lot about migration, colonization, and cultural change. Let's take a closer look at how language shapes our world. Religion is another key aspect of culture. It influences how people view the world, their values, and their daily practices. Across the globe, there are countless religions and belief systems, each with its own traditions, rituals, and sacred spaces. Religion can shape everything from art and architecture to laws and holidays. It also plays a role in uniting communities and sometimes, unfortunately, in causing conflict. Understanding religious diversity is essential to understanding human geography. Customs and traditions are the everyday expressions of culture. They include the ways people greet each other, celebrate milestones, and mark important events. These practices can vary widely from one place to another, even within the same country. By observing customs and traditions, we gain insight into what a society values and how it maintains its identity over time. Let's explore some examples of unique traditions from around the world. Food is a delicious way to experience culture. Each region has its own cuisine, shaped by local ingredients, climate, and history. Food brings people together, whether it's through daily meals or special celebrations. It also tells stories of migration and cultural exchange as dishes evolve and spread across borders. Exploring the world's cuisines helps us appreciate the creativity and diversity of human societies. Art and music are powerful forms of cultural expression. They capture the emotions, stories, and values of a society. From traditional dances to modern paintings, creative works reflect both individual talent and collective identity. Music and art can also be tools for social change, helping people share their experiences and connect with others. Let's see how different cultures express themselves through the arts. Buildings and spaces we create say a lot about our culture. Architecture reflects the values, resources, and technologies of a society. From ancient temples to modern skyscrapers, the built environment shapes how we live and interact. It can also preserve history and inspire future generations. By studying architecture, we learn about the priorities and creativity of different cultures. Cultural landscapes are the visible results of human activity on the land. They include cities, farms, monuments, and even parks. These landscapes tell stories about how people have adapted to their environments and left their mark on the world. By examining cultural landscapes, geographers can trace the history of a place and understand the relationship between people and their surroundings. Where people live and how they are distributed across the globe is a key focus of human geography. Population patterns are influenced by factors like climate, resources, and historical events. Urban areas, rural communities, and migration trends all shape the human landscape. Understanding population patterns helps us address challenges like overcrowding, resource use, and urban planning. Migration is the movement of people from one place to another, and it has a huge impact on culture and society. People move for many reasons, including work, safety, or family. Migration can lead to cultural exchange, the blending of traditions, and sometimes tension or conflict. By studying migration, we learn how cultures spread and change over time. Urbanization is the process of people moving from rural areas to cities. This shift has transformed societies around the world, leading to the growth of large urban centers. Urbanization brings opportunities for jobs and education, but also challenges like congestion and pollution. Cities become melting pots of culture, where diverse groups interact and shape new ways of life. While cities are centers of innovation, rural areas are often the keepers of tradition. Rural communities may have closer ties to the land and maintain customs that have been passed down for generations. Life in rural areas can be slower paced and deeply connected to nature. By exploring rural traditions, we see how people adapt to their environments and preserve their cultural heritage. Cultural diffusion is the spread of cultural elements from one society to another. This can happen through trade, migration, or even the internet. As cultures interact, they exchange ideas, foods, technologies, and more. Sometimes this leads to the blending of traditions or the creation of entirely new cultural practices. Cultural diffusion helps explain why certain foods, fashions, or music styles are popular worldwide. Globalization has made the world more connected than ever before. People, goods, and ideas move quickly across borders, influencing cultures everywhere. While globalization can lead to greater understanding and cooperation, it can also threaten local traditions and languages. The challenge is to find a balance between embracing global influences and preserving cultural diversity. Our sense of identity is often tied to the places we call home. Where we grow up, the landscapes we see, and the communities we belong to all shape who we are. Place gives us a sense of belonging and helps define our cultural identity. Understanding the connection between identity and place is key to understanding human geography. Ethnicity refers to shared cultural traits, ancestry, and history. In many societies, people identify with one or more ethnic groups, each with its own traditions and customs. Diversity enriches societies, bringing new perspectives and ideas. However, it can also lead to challenges such as discrimination or conflict. Embracing diversity is essential for building inclusive communities. Gender roles are the expectations societies have for how men and women should behave. These roles are shaped by culture and can vary widely around the world. In some places, traditional gender roles are changing as societies become more equal. Understanding gender roles helps us see how culture influences daily life and social structures. Every society has its own social structure or way of organizing people. This can include family units, social classes, and roles within the community. Social structures influence how people interact, access resources, and participate in society. By studying these structures, we learn about the values and priorities of different cultures. Political geography examines how humans organize space through governments, borders, and policies. It looks at how countries are formed, how boundaries are drawn, and how power is distributed. Political geography also explores issues like conflict, cooperation, and the impact of politics on culture. Understanding political geography helps us make sense of the world's complex map. Economic geography studies how people use resources, produce goods, and create wealth. It looks at patterns of trade, industry, and agriculture. Economic activities shape the landscape, influence migration, and affect cultural development. By understanding economic geography, we see how societies meet their needs and adapt to changing conditions. Human activities have a profound impact on the environment. From deforestation to urban sprawl, our choices shape the natural world. Environmental geography examines how cultures interact with their surroundings and the consequences of those interactions. By studying environmental impact, we learn how to create more sustainable societies. Cultural regions are areas where people share similar cultural traits such as language, religion, or traditions. These regions can be large, like Latin America, or small, like a neighborhood in a city. Cultural regions help geographers understand how culture spreads and changes over space. They also highlight the diversity within and between societies. Culture refers to traditional practices passed down through generations, often in rural or isolated communities. Popular culture, on the other hand, is widespread and quickly changing, often influenced by media and technology. Both types of culture shape our identities and experiences, but in different ways. Understanding the differences helps us appreciate the variety of human expression. Cultures are always changing, adapting to new ideas, technologies, and challenges. Innovation can come from within a society or through contact with others. Cultural change can be gradual or rapid, and it often leads to new forms of expression and organization. By studying cultural change, we see how societies respond to the world around them. Languages are grouped into families based on their historical origins. For example, the Romance languages like Spanish and French all come from Latin. Studying language families helps us trace migration patterns and cultural connections across continents. It also shows how languages evolve and influence each other over time. Many cultures have sacred spaces, places that hold special religious or spiritual meaning. These can include temples, churches, mosques, or natural sites like mountains and rivers. Sacred spaces are often centers of community life and cultural identity. They remind us of the deep connections between people, place, and belief. Sometimes, differences in culture can lead to conflict. Disagreements over language, religion, or territory have sparked tensions throughout history. Cultural conflict can be challenging, but it also offers opportunities for dialogue and understanding. By studying these conflicts, we learn how to build more peaceful and inclusive societies. As the world changes, many communities work to preserve their cultural heritage. This can include protecting languages, restoring historic sites, or passing down traditional skills. Cultural preservation helps maintain diversity and ensures that future generations can learn from the past. It's an important part of human geography. Symbols are powerful tools for expressing culture. Flags, clothing, music, and even food can become symbols of identity and belonging. These symbols help unite communities and communicate shared values. By understanding cultural symbols, we gain insight into what matters most to different societies. Cultural adaptation is how people adjust their customs and practices to new environments. This can involve changing the way they build homes, grow food, or celebrate traditions. Adaptation helps cultures survive and thrive in different settings. It's a testament to human creativity and resilience. Cultural hearth is a place where a culture began and from which it spread. Examples include the Nile Valley, Mesopotamia, and the Indus Valley. These regions were centers of innovation, giving rise to new technologies, religions, and social structures. Studying cultural hearths helps us understand the origins of major civilizations. Cultural barriers are obstacles that prevent the spread of ideas or practices. These can include language differences, religious beliefs, or even physical geography like mountains and oceans. Barriers can slow down or block cultural diffusion, but they can also protect unique traditions. Recognizing these barriers helps us understand the complexity of cultural exchange. Cities are vibrant examples of cultural landscapes. They bring together people from diverse backgrounds, creating unique blends of architecture, cuisine, and traditions. Urban neighborhoods often reflect the heritage of their residents, with festivals, shops, and art that celebrate different cultures. Exploring city landscapes reveals the dynamic nature of culture in action. Rural areas also have rich cultural landscapes shaped by agriculture, local traditions, and close-knit communities. These landscapes often preserve historic buildings, farming techniques, and festivals that have been passed down for generations. By studying rural cultural landscapes, we see how people maintain their heritage while adapting to modern life. Cultural ecology examines how culture and environment influence each other. It looks at how people adapt to their surroundings and how their activities impact the land. This field helps us understand sustainable practices and the challenges of living in different environments. Cultural ecology is key to building a more harmonious relationship with nature. Tourism often focuses on cultural landscapes, drawing visitors to historic sites, festivals, and unique communities. While tourism can bring economic benefits, it can also put pressure on local cultures and environments. Sustainable tourism seeks to balance these interests, preserving cultural heritage while supporting local economies. In today's globalized world, cultural identity is both challenged and enriched. People may adopt new customs while holding on to their roots. The blending of cultures can create new forms of expression, but it can also lead to questions about authenticity and belonging. Navigating cultural identity is an ongoing process for individuals and communities alike. Technology is transforming cultural landscapes at a rapid pace. From social media to smart cities, new tools are changing how we communicate, work, and express ourselves. Technology can help preserve culture, but it can also accelerate change and create new challenges. Understanding this relationship is crucial for the future of human geography. Art is a visible part of many cultural landscapes, from murals in city streets to sculptures in public parks. Art reflects the values, struggles, and dreams of a community. It can also attract visitors and inspire pride among residents. By exploring the art in cultural landscapes, we gain a deeper understanding of the people who live there. Festivals are lively expressions of culture, bringing people together to celebrate shared traditions. They often take place in public spaces, transforming the landscape with music, food, and art. Festivals can strengthen community bonds and attract visitors from near and far. They are a joyful reminder of the power of culture to unite us. Language leaves its mark on the landscape through place names, signs, and public art. Multilingual cities showcase the diversity of their residents, while rural areas may preserve ancient languages. Language in the landscape tells stories of migration, settlement, and cultural change. It's a living record of human geography. Religious beliefs shape cultural landscapes through sacred buildings, monuments, and rituals. Pilgrimage sites, shrines, and places of worship are central to many communities. These landscapes reflect the spiritual values of a society and often become symbols of cultural identity. Exploring religious landscapes reveals the deep connections between faith and place. Economic activities leave their mark on cultural landscapes, from bustling markets to industrial zones. The way people use land for farming, trade, or tourism reflects their needs and values. Economic landscapes can change rapidly, especially in times of growth or crisis. By studying these patterns, we understand how culture and economy are intertwined. Human geography and culture are deeply connected, shaping the world we live in. By studying these topics, we gain insight into the diversity, creativity, and resilience of human societies. Understanding human geography helps us appreciate our differences and find common ground. As we move forward, let's continue exploring the rich tapestry of cultures and places that make our world unique.